Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be discussing how to step into your new identity, the person that creates your dream reality, the person that has it all and is the instant manifester. So I've got some points down for you here. So let's start discussing it. So the first point that I'm going to point out here is that you have to remember that your reality is on a 3D plane, aka your physical world around you, the things that you experience, the people you experience, the things you can see with your eyes. Whereas your identity, your thoughts and actions, the things that go on inside your brain, they are on a 4D plane, which is basically just everything in terms of energy and frequency. And to understand how to shift into the identity, you need to learn that you have to shift yourself internally on a self-concept level before your external 3D world can change. So you need to be shifting yourself on a 4D plane first. And the main point here is that the 3D is just a delayed after effect. So yes, there is some time that you'll find goes by before your 3D world starts to reflect your new identity, but it's only because it's what you can see with your eyes on a 3D level. And so you have to kind of give space for the movement to occur and for your brain to actually start recognizing that movement, which it will do more so once you're in the new identity, because your brain will be reprogrammed to therefore start seeing the new circumstances. So there is a little bit of a 3D of a delayed after effect there, but only because the 3D, like I said, is very physical, whereas the 4D is just energetics basically, or the 5D some people like to call it. So when you align yourself with the new identity, the 4D will instantly shift because it's based on vibration and frequency. And as I always say, it's like a radio station where you tune into different radio stations. That's what you're doing with your identity in your mind through your energy, vibration, and frequency, aka your emotions, your thoughts, because they all have a different vibration, they all have a different frequency. And so obviously your thoughts and your emotions are what aligns you with the reality that you're in. So you have to change the thoughts and the emotions first, so that you can then change your actions, and then your actions will be the thing that changes your 3D reality, as well as what you attract on an energetic level. So I'm going to give you a good example here in terms of the identity shifting that needs to take place, which I'm sure you've heard of before. But just realize that you need to align yourself with the new identity first on an energetic level in the 4D, so tuning into that radio frequency of the identity that you actually want, and then essentially the first step is to start living out that life. So the example here that I'm going to give is Neville Goddard. You might have heard it before, but he manifested himself going to Barbados, which is where he was originally from. His family was from, and this is where he started to use SATs for the first time because he had a mentor, and the mentor was the person that told him you need to be visualizing yourself before you go to sleep every single night, going to Barbados, being in Barbados. And a lot of people might assume that the only reason this worked so well is because of visualization, but the truth is that it's the energy and the frequency that he admitted in those moments that actually caused him to therefore identity shift into a new reality where he was going to Barbados. So you'll find that he was identity shifting every single night. And if he wavered in the daytime and he went back into the old identity or the old reality, then he would then go back again at night time and do the same visualization again and realign himself. But it's all through the identity, and this is how he was identity shifting. He got into the feeling frequency every single night. He was shifting himself on a 4D plane. He was altering his brain chemistry on a 3D physical level. And all of this together made it so that on the very last minute, his brother, I believe it was, actually paid for him to get the boat to Barbados in December for Christmas, because this is where he wanted to go for Christmas, to visit his siblings, to visit his home. And the only reason he did this is because he made sure he was already the person that was going there. So how to imagine this is, you've got two pathways. The pathway for him would be where he stays in the current place and he didn't go Barbados because his old identity was aligned with someone that doesn't get to go to those places or doesn't deserve to go to those places. And then the other identity is the person that gets to go Barbados for Christmas time. So it's two different identities, it's two different belief systems, and he aligned himself every single night with the new person. And he's never actually said what he did in the daytime, but the truth is that if he's aligning himself with this new frequency and stepping into this new self-concept where he gets what he wants and he gets to do what he wants, then the likelihood is in the daytime he's also going to be acting that way as well. So he's also going to be acting as if and changing his self-concept and those neural pathways in his brain to align with the identity of someone that gets what they want and gets to go to Barbados. But this is the two pathways that you are going on every single day. There's this new version of you that you want to go on, the new identity that creates that reality. And then there's the old identity. And again, the radio tuning frequency is you get to choose every single day which pathway you want to go down, because this is one reality and this is another reality. They're polar opposites. And you have to understand that throughout the day, you're likely flicking between the two. It's whichever one you actually stay in for the longer time and allow the 3D to unfold before you. That is the one that you need to be aligning yourself with. You need to stay in that reality long enough for it to unfold. But most people will be doing their manifesting and they'll be flicking between the two, but the majority of the time they're still in the old the old identity, the old reality, because they're letting the limiting beliefs get the better of them. So for instance, if Neville Goddard didn't think that he could do it, or he didn't think he deserved to do it, he didn't think he was capable of manifesting, that would be the reality that he would be stepping into. And that would be the reality that unfolded for him. So if you're flicking between these two because of your self-concept and your identity, then you're not going to be identity shifting into the new reality, because you're letting the old one win throughout the daytime, throughout nighttime, through your frequency. So I hope that makes sense. That another example I'm going to actually give you is, for example, if you want to be a successful YouTuber, that you post your first video and your identity is that I am a successful YouTuber, and every single time I post a new video, I'm going to make it better every single time. If you posted that first video knowing that you're not a successful YouTuber and you know you'll never be able to be one, you're just doing it for fun, it'll never get anywhere, then how do you think that's going to reflect in your videos? Are you going to be showing up as the person that knows it all? Are you going to be showing up as the professional in your space, the leader in your space? How is the power going to affect the way that you speak and therefore the audience you attract? If you step into it knowing that you want to be a successful YouTuber and you start showing up as the successful YouTuber, your 3D is going to move a lot faster, because your 4D energy frequency and your identity are both aligned with a new reality, and it just cannot help but change and shift into this new reality, and you're likely going to grow a lot faster than someone that's letting a limiting belief identity get in their way of creating and taking the action it takes to create a good video and create good quality videos and speak clearly and concisely, because they don't believe that they're going to do it, so they're not going to do it. So you need to be changing the actual identity in the first place in order to then create the reality that you want to create. But again, if you don't act like it, then you won't become it. and your 3D future won't reflect that. So it's again the two pathways. Are you going to allow yourself to flick between the two? Oh, I believe I can be a successful YouTuber. Oh, I don't believe it. Oh, I could make money. I don't believe I can make money. And these thoughts are often going on in the back of our minds. You might think that you're a confident person and you have a good belief system. And then you sit there one day and you start thinking, actually, I have this deep-rooted feeling of incapability, like when I go to solve tasks, I'm like, whatever, I can't do it. Maybe you give it to your partner or your parents, your brother, sister, friends. If you're the kind of person that feels like you can't problem solve things or you can't achieve something very easily on an intellectual level or on a money level, on a success career level, you can have different feelings of incapabilities in different areas, then pay attention to that. Listen to how you're reacting, listen to your thoughts, and you'll start realizing the things that are actually going on in the back of your mind. A lot of us and a lot of people I've spoke to and worked with have thought that they had a good self-concept. They thought they had a good childhood even. And then when they started to look into that, they were like, oh, the glaring limiting belief was there this entire time and I didn't realize. And that limiting belief has been the thing that's been impacting my reality the most, because my limiting belief is associated with my identity, and my identity is the very thing that creates my reality. Okay, so the second point here is going to be going off the last point, but you have to align yourself through your energy and your frequency first. So in the last point, we're speaking about how the 3D and the 4D are going to shift differently, and there's going to be like a delayed after effect based on your energy and also your self-concept. But here we're going to be talking about the fact that you need to align your energy and your frequency in the very, very beginning. And this is what a lot of manifestation videos will miss out. You have to be the energy that you want to attract, because like attracts like, and we knew that. That is often spoke about in the manifestation, self-development space quite a lot. But the issue here is that, again, your energy and your frequency is associated with your thought patterns. So it's like a big circle of your energy is coming from your thought patterns, and then your thought patterns create this new create this frequency. So they're constantly bouncing off each other. Your thoughts, your energy, if you're in a low mood, you're likely going to have negative thoughts. If something negative happens that causes you to have negative thoughts, you're going to have a negative frequency. So you have to break the cycle at some point in order for you to shift your frequency. If you wake up in the morning and you have low discipline and you allow one negative event to impact your mood for the rest of your day, or worse, you don't have the emotional intelligence to realize that it's impacting the rest of your day, then the rest of your day is going to be a reflection of the frequency that you hold throughout that entire day. And if you're not careful of your frequency in the day, it will impact your week, your month, your year, and it will become an identity. You are the person that thinks negatively and pessimistically, and you think, oh, expect the worst, but hope for the best. The worst thing you can do is expect the worst and hope for the best. Because when you expect the worst, you will get the worst. When you hope for the best, you will only get the best a small percentage of the time. Are you a pessimistic person, or do you call yourself realistic because you don't want to admit that you're a pessimistic person? We want to be optimistic at all times because optimism is a high frequency, and you need to have the emotional intelligence to the point where if something does happen, you're not entirely disappointed, you're not emotionally distraught, and then you're thinking, maybe I should have hoped for the worst instead of, maybe I should have hoped for the worst instead of hoping for the best. So next time I don't get hurt. At that rate, the emotional maturity needs to be there in order to stop yourself from wavering and falling into a negative cycle. So paying attention to your thoughts throughout the daytime is going to be an integral part of doing this. And it's also going to be an integral part of the beginning of your shadow work journey and your self-concept inner work journey. Just paying attention to the thoughts that are actually creating your vibration and getting in tune with your body a lot of the time, and something that I spoke about before is the mind-body connection here. So a lot of the time we're always in our headspace and we're always thinking analytically, and our masculine energy, like coming up with plans and instructions and making decisions, you know, even if it's just going to the shops, doing your food shop, you're constantly trying to distract yourself from the music, people around you, the announcements, and you're trying to think about, you know, maybe it's the cost of things, maybe it's what's next, where is this, oh, does so and so want this? You're buying for someone else, maybe. Will I need this? Will it go off? Do I get this one or this one? And that's your analytical brain. And a lot of people will get home and they will still remain in the analytical brain. They will allow themselves to stay in the logical side of their mind, and they will lose connection with their body, and therefore they won't realize their frequency. So if they feel like down and stressed out, they won't realize it. They will just hear the brain say, switch on a movie, order a takeaway, take a bath, watch some YouTube, watch some TikTok. That's what you will hear. And you'll be like, oh, I just really want to do this. You won't know why. It's just your brain is the one telling you to do it. But there's no connection to your body to actually realize, how am I feeling in this moment? And when you realize how you're feeling in the moment, you'll begin to listen to what your body actually wants. Because I can guarantee it's none of those things. And so this is how you're going to be able to change your new identity, because you need to be listening to the frequency that's going on in your body to actually be able to change the frequency. So a great way to actually level up yourself is obviously when you realize what that actually looks like for you, who you want to become, which I could create a whole entire different video in itself on how to realize who you want to become, how to realize what your next level self is, how to realize what your purpose is, right? But going off the fact that hopefully you know who you want to become, and if you don't, then that's a whole entire self-discovery journey. But I always say to realize who you want to become rather than what you want, because who you want to become will determine what you want. And when you don't know who you want to become, you'll often find yourself trying to manifest things that you think you want rather than actually manifesting who you want to become. So people will often be manifesting external things, like material things that they think will make them feel better, without realizing that the feeling comes from within and the person they want to become. What we all want is a feeling. Well, none of us actually want objects, we all want feelings. So when you want a new car, you want the feeling that comes with the new car. So when you don't know who you want to become, you're always going to be trying to manifest something that you think is going to give you a feeling, but really it's just the internal freedom, the internal fulfillment, the internal happiness that you want when you become a person that is truly aligned with you and your body, your heart, your soul. That is actually the self-discovery journey that you need to be going down, rather than an external manifestation journey that you want to be going down. And then once you've gone down that and you've realized who you want to become, and then you're like, okay, now I actually want to manifest these other things. So it's still the same as before, but it's slightly altered. I want to manifest a career that aligns with me. So now I want to manifest a career. Then you can get back into manifestation once you realize and you've done the self-development and the inner work to realize what it is you actually want from your life, what it is that's truly aligned with your life. This is going to be the most deepest, integral, and this is just going to be like the deepest, best work that you're going to be able to do. And if you're not already down the journey, you'll be likely going down the journey soon, and it's exactly what I talk about on this channel. So let's say, for instance, you realize that you want to become a confident, powerful person. And that person is therefore a confident and powerful manifester. Because if you are a confident, powerful person, that will reflect in all areas of your life. Not just how you manifest. It will reflect in your career. You will become a confident, powerful CEO. You will become a confident, powerful partner for your partner, you will become a confident and powerful person as a whole. So instead of trying to focus on one specific area, focus on you internally, on this self-development inner work journey first, and then the external world will effortlessly reflect that. Same goes for manifestation. You will become an instant manifester when you become a person that is a confident, powerful person that knows they can get what they want, decides that they can get what they want, and then therefore they do. So say, for instance, you want to become this confident and powerful manifester, right? You need to then be acting and living out the frequency that's aligned with that. So this is how we're going to be aligning our frequency first. You need to be going out and building your confidence, right? You need to be stretching your mind like that rubber band that I spoke about before. You need to be stretching that into the discomfort zone that's slightly outside of your comfort zone. Because then when you overcome small little things like that, you're going to feel so good, so accomplished, like, oh my God, I did that. But you're never going to get that by staying in your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is going to be the death of your happiness, the death of your fulfillment feelings, the death of your vibration, because there's nothing exciting you, you're not achieving anything, and you're not feeling anything new. So therefore, there's no excitement in your life, and there's no fulfillment because you know that you're not getting anywhere with your life. So you're just kind of stuck and you've got this stagnant energy in your body. So start doing things outside of that comfort zone, even if it's just going to a different store instead of the one that you usually go to. And then do things that your next level self would do. But that's the next point anyways. But doing things that are slightly outside your comfort zone will increase your vibration so much because of the feeling that you get afterwards. The feeling of, I did that. And you're then reprogramming your subconscious and your self-concept to then say, I am a person that can take on any challenge now because I took on this challenge. And you're building up all of these pillars to prove to yourself that you can achieve anything. And when you can achieve anything, what do you think happens? You get more confident. You feel more powerful because you know you can take on any situation. This could be anything. It could be going to a different store. It could just be posting that YouTube video, that TikTok video, whatever it is you've been wanting to do for a while. And sometimes when you actually start focusing on this, you will get little inclinations to do that. Little tiny feelings of, oh, well, you know, considering you're wanting to do this, here's the opportunity. Your brain will reveal to you the opportunities. For example, last night, I wanted to go to McDonald's to, get some tea for me and Aaron. And I was driving down the road and I accidentally took the wrong turn because I was too focused on whatever I was thinking about at the time. And I started to go to our office instead of McDonald's because I was just so, focused on going. I was on autopilot basically. And then I was like, I need to figure out where the nearest McDonald's is, right? So obviously I pulls over, gets up my phone, and it says the nearest McDonald's is actually in a completely different place than I usually go. And we recently moved house, so I don't actually know where the nearest McDonald's is. We always go to the one that's most familiar, and that's actually quite far away from us, and we haven't really got up the Google Maps and realised that it's not the nearest one to us anymore. So I was like, I would feel quite uncomfortable going to this new McDonald's though, because it's completely in the opposite direction I would usually go, and we're in quite a built up area, so it's probably on a main road or something, and it's got dodgy turnings. But I went to the new McDonald's anyways, and it felt a little bit uncomfortable. And I'm usually so confident going McDonald's. I'm pulling up to the window yeah, I'll have this. Whatever. And I'm usually have Aaron in the seat, and he's usually ordered it in the app. So I'll give them the code. I don't need to pay, I don't need to order it. I give him the code and then we collect our food. But this one time I was on my own. I had to actually think about what we wanted because usually, like I said, he's already done it on the phone. And then I was like, oh my God, these people are different. the drive-through was very awkward because in the UK the roads are so tiny, and this McDonald's was on a hill, so you had to like drive around the McDonald's at the top of the hill, and the drive-through points were like throughout each point around the McDonald's, and it was so tiny I felt like I was going to go over the curb and go down the hill. But it was like slightly out of my comfort zone, and it was just that slightest bit out the comfort zone, and I was like, oh, I feel a little bit like, ooh, do you know what I'm saying? And I've been doing this more recently with outfits, like just going to my local Asda in like a really nice autumn outfit, because I never really go out that often now. So if I was to go to Asda on a normal day a few years ago, in fact, I say a few years ago, but I've always dressed how I want to dress, but your mind might think, oh, let's just shove on like a little coat, some leggings, some jeans, and some trainers, some Crocs. Oh my gosh, I live in Crocs. Or I did live in Crocs anyways, especially going to the office all the time. And recently I've been just really wanting to wear my nice outfits, and I'm like, I don't have anywhere to wear them, so I will wear them to Asda now. And I'm getting out of my comfort zone, because instead of wearing the comfortable nice outfits I have, like a nice long sleeve dress down to my knees and then my boots, I'll be wearing more nicer outfits that are like I love clothes with like gold buttons for autumn, gold buttons going down the skirt. And yes, people probably will think, oh, like I probably will attract more attention. Maybe they don't think anything, but they'll be like, oh, like it'll turn their head because it's different. And I've got my new knee-high boots. They haven't got a heel on them because I'm not daring enough to wear a heel yet, but they are very nice boots. And more people have been smiling at me, more girls have been smiling at me, women have been smiling at me, and it's probably because I'm just dressed how I want to dress, and they're like, whoa, that's a cool outfit. And maybe they can feel my energy. In fact, it's not a maybe, they can definitely feel my energy. I spoke about it in the last video where my energy was high and everyone kept smiling at me. So put yourself outside of that comfort zone, stretch that rubber band, and you will feel so much better. Align your frequency first, and your reality will reflect that frequency. And your frequency is also going to be rewiring your brain. Stepping out of your comfort zone is going to be rewiring your self-concept to tell you that you're more capable of doing these things. And this is what's going to cause your identity to actually shift. The next one, the last point here, is actually going to be to do things that only your next level self would do. So this is going to be outside of doing those extra things that put you in an uncomfortable situation, but more so only going to places that align with you, or going to the places that align with you more. So maybe it's, instead of going to a certain restaurant, you go to a slightly bougier restaurant. Maybe you go to the restaurant less because maybe this new restaurant is actually genuinely quite a bit out of your budget. So instead of like stretching yourself financially and actually putting yourself in a compromising position, go to the one less and then go to the new bougie one more. Or even just putting yourself in, like, some people say hotel lobbies and stuff. That would feel more uncomfortable, definitely. I don't have any hotels near me pretty much, but if you live in a city, that might be great. Going and taking first class train tickets if you're even just going down the road. Something I've been doing is only doing, so traveling before, I would always go economy, just because it's like, your brain's just, of course you're just going to book an economy ticket, book a package holiday. Maybe if you're in the UK, package holidays are so common, to Europe. If you're in America, we have package holidays to go to Europe, and they're all arranged by one company. So one airline, one company. The hotels are run by the company, and you just book it all in one, basically. It's only really when we go America or anywhere outside of Europe that really requires more of a separate bookings. Do you know what I'm saying? So automatically it's just economy. You want to go somewhere, you book the plane ticket, you check Skyscanner for the cheapest ticket, whatever you do, right? And last year, actually, no, it was the beginning of this year even. Whoops, my fan. It was the beginning of this year, we were like, let's just try premium economy. Because at the end of the day, if you want to level up your life, you have to level up your life now. And again, we did prepare for premium economy. We purposely put more money aside, so it wasn't stretching us in any sort of direction other than just stepping out of our comfort zone and doing something a little bit more lavish that aligns with our future lifestyle and the lifestyle we was in the middle of stepping into. So we went premium economy, and it was amazing, and I will never be going economy again. I say I won't be going economy again, but I'm literally okay, right, to Europe it doesn't count because I'm going Germany tomorrow, and the flight is literally an hour away from the UK. I think the flight is an hour and a half. At that rate, they don't even have premium economy seats because it's just so short of a flight. So at that rate, it's like, yes, I have to go premium economy. It's basically a train ride. But in terms of long flights, so before we did 14-hour flight to Japan, and that was premium economy, so worth it. I could actually sleep. I had a footrest. I could lie my seat down. I had extra leg room, extra seat room. Like, it was so good. And we were like, if we ever do long haul flights again, it has to be premium economy, because when we went New York in January, the flight impacts your entire first couple of days, especially when you're jet lagged. And we was in a plane with so many babies screaming as well, so we didn't get any sleep. We had like jet lag, and it's like, these things affect you, so why wouldn't you treat yourself better? Why wouldn't you treat yourself like the future version of you and actually choose to step into that version of you now, rather than waiting for your world to change before you start treating yourself better? It just doesn't make sense. So only do the things that align with future you, and do them now, within your capabilities now. Make it happen now. Go on less holidays. If it means that when you do go on holiday, you go to a 5-star resort and you take premium economy or even business class, whatever you want to do, but make it good. If you're going to do it good, or don't do it at all. If you're going to have something going on in your life, make sure it's good or not at all. If you've got friends in your life, have the good friends, cancel out the old friends, or have no friends at all. So this is going to be all part of your leveling up journey. And as you level up your frequency, you're going to realize, like, literally so easily, all of the things that are no longer aligned with your frequency anymore. It's going to stand out so much. You're going to literally see it. Clear eyes. Whoa, all of these things were so bad for me and I never realized it, but now I'm on a high frequency. I'm so sensitive to those bad things and I can see them for what they are, and that's what's going to start happening to you. An example of this, I've literally got 2 minutes left of my camera before the memory runs out, but an example of this to end the video is lottery winners. 70% of them will lose their money after the first 5 years, or within the first 5 years rather, because they haven't changed their identity. They haven't changed their self-concept to be able to energetically or physically hold that amount of money. They will spend it all because they don't know what they're doing, and they associate with a person that lives paycheck to paycheck, is broke, doesn't pay attention to their finances. So of course they're going to continue spending to the point and not look at the money in their account. They're just going to think it's a bottomless pit. They're not going to look at it. They're not going to financially get a financial advisor or anything, because that just doesn't align with who they are. And then they're just going to spend it all within the first 5 years. And then there's nothing left, and then they're back to the old identity. They've self-sabotaged their identity, their self-concept didn't align with it, and therefore they're just going to create the old reality all over again. And they had the same beliefs as they did before. They didn't change their belief system. They didn't change those neural pathways. So to conclude the video, make sure that you're always acting in accordance with the new version of you and no longer accept anything less, and your identity will begin to change now. You have to align yourself through your frequency. You have to change the identity now. Make that decision and allow your identity to slowly change over time. Don't wait for anything external to happen before you can feel different. It starts within. So going over the points, number 1 is that the 3D is a physical plane, the 4D is the energetic plane. Align yourself through your frequency on the 4D and allow the 3D to unfold. It's okay for it to unfold over time. Number 2, again, start with frequency and energy, and then everything comes after. do the inner work to change your frequency. Do the inner work to change your subconscious mind so that it's not manifesting bad things for you. And number 3, incorporate things in your life that only align with the new identity. So I hope those 3 points helped you guys. Again, if you want help with the self-concept work, the shadow work, the Passive Princess package is going to be the perfect package for you, including coaching and custom techniques to change your self-concept, shadow work prompts, everything where we work together through messages. So other than that, I hope it helped. And again, if you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll see you in the next video. Have a lovely, lovely day. Bye. And I'll see you in Germany.